everybody, it's Chris Eads, known online as Wootini, with another Gay Gamer video podcast. This week, I went to see John Wick 4, which I was a little nervous about, honestly, because John Wick 1 was fantastic, so good. Great action movie, simple plot, terrific action scenes, great. And then the second one was good because it kind of expanded on this universe of assassins and their crazy rules and ridiculousness, and it was kind of fun, except it was hampered because it didn't have an ending. Like, it just had a big cliffhanger at the end, and you're just like, well, that's not cool. Like, I don't mind when movies end with a tease for a sequel, that's fine, but you need to give me an ending, a satisfying ending to the story that I have watched unfold during this film. That's all I'm saying. Just give me an ending, and then you can throw in a little something to tease for a sequel. It's fine. And then the third one, unfortunately, continued the downward trend because I was really disappointed in the third one because it was really long. It was like just one long chase scene. It was all middle. There was no beginning or end. It was just middle. And it just felt very unsatisfying and long, and it was repeating some of the previous scenes, action stunts and stuff, and I was like, this is a little repetitive. I don't know how I feel about this. And again, it didn't have an ending. So I was very wary going into Chapter 4 because Chapter 4 is like 3 hours long, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't handle just more action scenes. I need something to chew on. And thankfully, this one managed to remember to take a breath in between the action sequences so that you could have some character moments and advance a story. And this one had more of a story and there were character moments. It was great. And as a bonus, it has a satisfying conclusion. It ends properly and with a little tease. I'm very nervous. I don't want them to make a Chapter 5, honestly. I kind of feel like the 4 work as just the one story and done. We'll see what happens with the Chapter 5. It has some stunning action sequences. There's one that just plays out like a top-down shooter, like Hotline Miami or something, and it's just amazing to watch. It was so good. And then there's like this big climactic fight on the stairs, this massive stone staircase. That's also a standout. There were some others that weren't as good, and one that was kind of like a previous movie, but it's fine. The whole thing was very enjoyable, terrific action sequences, nice character moments. It was nice to see Johnny Yen back again on the big screen. And it's also, you always get nervous when you see an actor that you like in a John Wick movie because you hope that they don't end up getting killed. So you want them to be friends with John so that they don't end up dead. Of course, that doesn't always help, but whatever. So yes, John Wick 4, Chapter 4, very good. If you're a fan of the series, it's terrific and you'll love it. If you're not a fan of the series, well, then why would you go watch it? So, never mind then. As for gaming, I wanted to talk about the announcement of the Horizon Forbidden West DLC, Burning Shores, which it's funny, it's like a roller coaster ride. I was very excited. I was like, oh yay, I get to play Horizon again. And then I'm like, oh, but then I don't usually get DLC when it's first released because it tends to be too expensive. Like, if I'm going to pay $60 for a game, that's fine because it's going to take me like 40, 50, 60 hours to complete. I feel like I'm getting my money's worth. But then they release like a DLC pack that's like $25, $30, and I'm just like, I'm not paying $30 for a DLC pack that's only going to take me a few hours to complete. That's not really worth the money. And in fact, I didn't end up playing the DLC for the first Horizon game, the Frozen Wilds or whatever it was. I didn't end up playing that until it was offered free. I don't think it was PlayStation Plus. I think it was during the whole like play at home thing during lockdown, where Sony was like, here's some free games to play while you're stuck in your house. And they gave the Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Collection, which includes the DLC. So I basically downloaded that so that I could just play the DLC. And it was enjoyable, but again, it's, short, so it's not like a big game, so, you don't want to spend that much on it. But then I find out that the Burning Shores DLC is only $20, and I'm like, $20. It's like, So then I'm like, do I play it for $20, or do I wait for it to maybe come down to 15 in a flash sale in a little while? But I might end up caving, although we'll see. Not yet, though, because I do continue to play the hell out of Fallout 4. Like, I am ridiculously addicted to this game, and it still boggles my mind because I didn't like 3. But it's the same kind of thing. I don't know. But I'm very much into this, and I even have leveled up enough that I was like, you know what? Let me go and finish the Nick Valentine side quest where you're looking for Eddie Winter's tapes. Because as I mentioned in the last episode, there is one of the final tape that I needed is in this police station that's guarded by a raider in big power armor. So I was like, oof. So I went, and in fact, it was fine. I mean, it wasn't easy, but I did it and I killed her. And I was fine, because now I have this great rifle that shoots exploding bullets, and it's awesome. It works really well. So that's like my go-to weapon. And I killed her, got inside, got the tape, finished, found, and then, was able to continue the quest, which ended up you go and you fight your way through Eddie Winter's hideout until you get to Eddie Winter's. And, you have a conversation with him, but it doesn't really matter because it's Nick who needs to confront Eddie. And then once Nick confronts Eddie, then things take a turn and you can complete and get rid of Eddie. And then Nick is all very happy. And then that was enough that cemented our bond. And now I have his bonus power, which unfortunately, as much as I love Nick as a character and I love having him around, like his bonus once you get to the certain affinity bond with your companion, you gain some kind of a bonus. And unfortunately, his bonus is just like extra guesses with hacking. And I'm like, okay, thanks, I guess. Although it is nice to have Nick around because usually if there's an expert terminal, I can get him to crack it. And so I don't have to waste my leveling up point on getting that skill. I can level up my pistols and rifles, which is awesome because then they do even more damage. And then once I did that, I was like, you know what? F it. I did another Minutemen quest, but then I was like, I am going to go to the Glowing Sea and try to continue the main story. And at some point I had found a hazmat suit, and I thought about wearing the hazmat suit so that I wouldn't have to worry about radiation as much. But I was like, let me just try taking a Rad-X and seeing if that helps. And literally taking a Rad-X, and I have tons of them. I have so many that I've actually had to take some of my meds and drugs and food and put them in storage because they're weighing me down and I can't pick up as much crap as I normally would like to because I've got all this crap that I'm carrying around for no reason because I don't use all these health items or whatever. So I just took some Rad-X and I went in there and I was fine. It is a horrifying place to go. And there's all these locations in there, and I'm just like, I don't want to have anything to do with anything in this area. It's scary and horrifying. It is a wasteland, and it's just terrible. So, but I found where I needed to be, and then they're like, oh yeah, I'm looking for Virgil. And they're like, well, we hear he's in a cave, to the southwest. And I'm like, okay, but I'm in the literal southwest corner of the map. And it turns out the map extends a little further than what's on that square. So I had to go a little further out, and then I did get to a point where it was like, you can't go that way. And I'm like, okay, I can't keep going this way. I have to turn this way and go go west. I was trying to go too far south, and I had to go west to get to the mountain, to get to his cave. And I'd already killed one Deathclaw. Now I've had to kill another Deathclaw. And with that exploding rifle, it was super not too hard. I don't want to say easy. So I'm super excited. I'm level 34, 35, and I think I'm about to turn 35. And I'm like, this is great. I can continue the main story and then maybe kind of finish this and feel satisfied and that I can move on to another game. But I have to say though, Virgil Virgil was a bit of a surprise. I was not expecting a giant super mutant in glasses. Um, but now I'm like off to check out the Institute and see what's what. Um, so maybe I'll actually finish this game. Like, it's amazing that I'm still playing it, but then the idea of actually finishing it is like, I mean, I know there's all kinds of like other stuff to do, but I don't necessarily want to do it, and I don't want to spend like months of my life playing one game like this. It's like I'd like to just do the main story and a little side stuff and get through it and play something different. Just mix it up a little. Um, but that's it. I'll shut up now. I'll come back next week and I'll have seen another movie, I'm sure, and I'll probably still be playing Fallout 4. But I'll have more things to talk about. Find out what they are in the next episode.